All right, guys, it is currently Sunday, which means it is game time. Enhanced games are hitting this afternoon. Last night was great. They had a reception at the pool, which was not actually a pool party, so don't worry, I figured that out beforehand and managed to change out of a bathing suit. Although, who knows, maybe I should have stuck with it. Would have been fun, but it was a blast. Got a chance to meet with some friends, got to hang out with my buddy, Dr. Abu Bakri from X. He's absolutely fantastic. And then got a chance to meet a lot of really other cool influencers. Got to meet Lee Markham from Malibu Fit Max. He was great. Got a chance to do a quick interview with him at a breakfast spot downstairs. And so really, this trip has been absolutely fantastic. But today is what it's all about. Today is about the games. Today is about the athletes and what they've worked so hard to try and accomplish. And they get to put it on stage for everyone. So super, super stoked. Just to clear things up, I think there's a lot of misconceptions going into the games about what the athletes were and were not taking. And basically, they just are falling into three categories. You have just totally natural athletes who are just competing, honestly, for the first shot at decent prize money that this kind of sport has ever seen. And then you've got athletes that were taking meds on their own and being monitored by their own doctors. But the truth is that most of the athletes fall in the third category, which is the most interesting one. This is when the athletes were being supervised by medical physicians at their training camp there in Dubai, taking a prescribed set of medications that are all available here in the United States. And so the idea is, what can we achieve by using medications that are, right now freely available with a prescription from a doctor to try and enhance athletes so they can perform at their absolute highest level. Now, if you want to check out some videos that I made talking about the enhanced games, Ronak will put them up here somewhere. But honestly, since then, I've learned a lot more about how the games have been set up, really what the ethos and the philosophy behind them are. And honestly, I'm totally on board. The reason why this is so exciting is, again, not only are we going to see what enhancements can do with athletes from a sport context, but really, by displaying what can be accomplished with medications that are currently available, we're also providing a pathway for regular people like, you or me who just want to live the best version of our lives and want to try and reach our best potential. And so really the best way to think about this is that the athletes are like the F1 race cars that like Mercedes-Benz or Porsche would sponsor. And so they're the tip of the top. They have the most complex regimens, the biggest amount of work gone into their day-to-day. But then that teaches you lessons about what can be applied to anyone just walking around on a regular basis. So for example, what the Porsche team learns in their F1 racer eventually gets translated down to the 911 and to their other commercial cars. And again, those are still really friggin' amazing cars, and they're absolutely thrilling to drive. But it's just on a different level, right? It's something you could actually drive day to day. And if you look at what the athletes are taking, I can't reveal too many details right now. But honestly, the amount of medication they're taking is nothing compared to what your average powerlifter or bodybuilder would take at any given day. Like, I think people are going to be shocked whenever they finally hear about those numbers. But it still requires, active management of what they're doing. They're having, frequent pens, every single day. And the truth is that even if it's not that much as far as a volume of medication, most people, even in the most, health-minded spaces, a lot of people don't want to be penning themselves every single day. So again, you're going to adapt. You're going to try and come up with something that's a little bit more tolerable and a little bit more compatible with people's day-to-day lives. All right, grabbed a quick breakfast and then got an update that apparently the symposium's starting an hour earlier than I thought. I had an old schedule. So we're going to go and grab a very quick workout and then shower, clean up a little bit, and then off to the scientific symposium. By the way, I literally just ran into Jesse James West. It is unreal how many influencers and other industry leaders are here.
A few moments later.
All right, so we are on our way to the scientific symposium where Brian Johnson is going to kick things off. So here we go. So quick transition, went ahead, finished up the morning symposium. It was fantastic. Brian Johnson spoke. We also had the leaders from Enhanced Games. Max Martin got up, Christian Angermeyer got up. We also had some really incredible guests from other companies adjacent to the space, learning more about psychedelics and trying to rework the software of the human brain as we try to rework the hardware through Enhance. But Guys, right now it's game time. Headed down to the games as we speak. And yeah, I'll check in with you soon. Hello. I am in the...
Fantastic.
I'm in the right place. Ah, thank God.
All camera.
I know, right? Oh, man. Hey, listen, size doesn't matter. It's how you use it, all right? Thanks. Hey, guys. So is 18 up these stairs? Thank you.
And I was on the
Guys, we're going to watch Thor and Mitch Hooper go head-to-head on deadlift right there, in addition to an epic Holly weightlifting competition. I can't tell you how excited I am about this. This is going to be historic. And listen, like, I will tell you, like, swimmers always look shredded whenever you see them, even, in the Olympics when they're natural, right? 40% of, Olympic athletes admit to taking, substances that are banned. But I just can't tell you how just jacked and shredded these guys are. You know what the surprise is? They've actually only been on protocol for 9 weeks. The whole plan to have them on for several months was totally derailed by the issues with the Iranian conflict. And so, honestly, what we're seeing is a very, very conservative enhancement protocol over a relatively short period of time. And I think we're going to see some records crushed. On a side note, check this out. So this is part of their new supplement stack that they started offering, and we're gonna have to do a deep dive into this. One thing I really do appreciate is that they've been avoiding all proprietary blends, and they've been giving an exact amount. So I'm really interested to kind of dive into this a little bit deeper to compare it against other things on the market, because Enhance seems to be committed to transparency, and I would love to see if that translates to all of the products as well, because honestly, that's what the whole idea is, right? Transparency when it comes to PED use, transparency when it comes to what you're putting into your body, and transparency regarding what the risks are and how to mitigate those safely.
His knees, he's got to finish this. He's got to lock it out.
Colombian, Bradwell record! 24 record! New world record!
Well, that was fun. All right, so for those of you that have stuck with me through today, I just want to say thank you, because I recognize that this is one of the more hectic of the vlogs that I put out so far. To be honest, it was just an insanely busy day, bouncing around from one place to the next, and I was often in places where I just really couldn't film, but I appreciate you sticking with me. And right now, I want to recap the events of the games themselves, and we're going to break this down into what I call 3 sections. And those 3 sections, I'm going to call the good, the bad, and the hopeful. Starting off with the good, it was an absolutely fantastically well done event. I mean, the production values were next level. It was so much fun. And honestly, it could not have been a better crowd. If you just want to talk about like the vibes, the positivity, it was off the charts. And so all the smiles, all the cheering that you're seeing and all the social media posts, like those were all real. And it was a really cool event to be a part of. Another good thing is the fact that, we saw a ton of personal bests. And these weren't just personal bests of athletes who were, hitting that personal best, 6 months ago. We're talking about athletes that a lot of them had been out of the game for a while. A lot of them had come out of retirement to try and compete again. And so not only were they hitting the best numbers they ever had, they were hitting them after being out for many years. In some cases, they're competing in their 30s when the last time they had previously competed was in their 20s. And that's a really big deal. And it's a testament to what can happen whenever you have athletes that are medically monitored and using performance-enhancing substances. Thor and Mitch put on a great show. It was incredibly dramatic. I love being there. I'm huge fans of both of those guys. And being able to see them up close do their thing was really freaking cool. Unfortunately, nobody hit the 515 kilo deadlift, but hey, you know what? That's okay. They still did an incredible job, and I was just thrilled to be there. And then in the most dramatic moment of the evening, Christian Golomeev absolutely crushed the men's 50-meter freestyle world record. And that was just such a cool thing to witness. I mean, the crowd went crazy. The entire stadium went red. It was the final event of the night. I mean, you could not have ended the evening on a better note. But then we have to move on to the bad. But, honestly, bad, just too strong a term. I would say less good than we had hoped for. And that's the fact that, yeah, Christian Golomeev absolutely killed it. And I'm so happy to have seen him break the world record in the 50-meter freestyle. But, that was the only world record we saw broken. We didn't see world records falling left and right to athletes that were just absolutely juiced out of their minds. And that's because they weren't. The truth is the athletes ended up only getting 9 weeks of exposure to performance-enhancing substances in addition to their training before competition day. And really, this wasn't the plan. It was mainly due to geopolitical issues and the war in Iran that forced them to compress that training schedule. Also, I can't say too much about this, but after talking to some of the doctors on the medical commission, the reality is that these athletes were actually running more of what you might see in any regular TRT clinic, or maybe what some people would call sports TRT, not what you would see in a true steroid cycle. And there were a lot of reasons for this. I mean, and it makes sense. You're going for your first event. You really want to prioritize safety over everything. And so, yeah, you're going to be more conservative. But even in that scenario, if you look at the list of medications that were provided in the study, which is freely available online now, one thing that you'll notice is that you don't see any of the oral agents that would normally be deployed in these circumstances. So things like Anavar or Winstrol just weren't on the list, even though those are compounds that are still considered Schedule 3 here in the United States and are still readily available, at least from compounding pharmacies. But then we get into part 3, which I'm going to call the hopeful part of this discussion. I honestly think these athletes did a fantastic job given the tough circumstances they found themselves in. They were in the middle of an absolute media firestorm. Their training was compressed and they were given enhancement, yes, but it wasn't nearly what many people would think of whenever you start to think of someone's first steroid cycle. So yeah, you consider all that, and honestly, I think they killed it, and I think they did a great job. And then we start to get into the larger issue of, well, where does the conversation go from here? One of the coolest parts of this trip, beyond just the sport, is being able to connect and network with so many amazing people in this space of performance medicine, peptide medicine, telehealth, and compounding pharmacies. There is an entire rich ecosystem of people that truly believe in transitioning away from the sick care model of healthcare that we've been stuck with for so long into health, wellness, and longevity, and trying to push the human body to perform at its absolute limits. And I think as a pilot event, this inaugural Enhanced Games went incredibly well. And honestly, I think that the potential just goes up and up from here. Now, it's not going to be a cakewalk, right? Enhance is a company that has to build up their telehealth platform. They're also going to be dealing with a media firestorm after this because, of course, there's going to be a lot of criticism from people that are just naysayers and don't understand this space and don't understand these patients or these athletes. But honestly, I think that the Overton window has shifted, and now we can start to have open conversations about enhancement and about bodily autonomy in 2026. Because honestly, yeah, you can have your own opinions about what you think about testosterone replacement or testosterone enhancement in this case. But honestly, if someone is doing something to their own body and it isn't hurting you, well, dude, like, why do you care? Look, I will always be against cheating. And so if you compete in a tested federation, stay away from PEDs, man, because if you do that, then, man, that's just pretty crummy. But now we can start to have the conversation about what it means to take control of your own body and make decisions for yourself within a supervised medical setting. Because in all honesty, the truth is that the vast majority of these compounds, when deployed safely under medical supervision, are incredibly safe. And so I've seen all the criticisms about people saying like, oh, you can't compare caffeine to BPC 157. And the truth is that people who say that really don't know what they're talking about, all right? If we're looking at caffeine and BPC 157 as one example, guess what? We know what the LD50 of caffeine is. We know how much caffeine it takes to kill a human being, all right? We still haven't figured out how much BPC 157 it would take to kill somebody because it's so incredibly safe. And that just shows that there is just a gross misunderstanding of the compounds in the enhancement space and what the real risk actually is. Are there risks with high-dose androgens like high-dose testosterone or Anavar or Nandrolone? Yeah, absolutely. But guess what? We understand what those are and we can mitigate them, at least those of us that know what we're doing. So I guess the final question of the evening is, were the Enhanced Games a success? And I think as an inaugural event, absolutely. But there is success in that they are starting the conversation because this was the result of a ton of work over a long period of time by a bunch of people. But really, the conversation around this space and around this type of medicine is just beginning. And I, for one, couldn't be more excited to be a part of it. But I want to know what you guys think. You've stuck with me through this entire video, through this entire trip, and I want to know what you think. What were your thoughts when you watched the Enhanced Games, when you started to see these athletes perform? Was it what you expected? Was it disappointing? Or, were you surprised by how well some of them did? I want to know in the comments down below. And also, what do you think about this entire field of performance medicine? Do you think that this truly is the future? Or do you think this is just a flash in the pan or just a temporary cultural zeitgeist? I appreciate you guys sticking with me. And Lord knows I'm going to appreciate getting back home tomorrow and seeing my family and getting back to letting Ronick do all the filming because, man, this crap is hard. And I just want to express a deep personal thank you to every single one of you who have stuck with us during this trip, who've watched these videos, who like, who comment, who subscribe, because honestly, that just means so much and it does so much for the channel you just don't even know. So I really appreciate it, guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one. And until then, this is Dr. Alex. Proceed accordingly.